Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500, welcome back to Project Millie. This ABS problem, I left you on the last video with this ABS problem. Still haven't got to the bottom of it, but possibly got a few pointers as to what might be the issue. There was lots of suggestions from yourselves, some obvious, some not so. I've got to get it sorted. The girl wants to pick it up next week now. Excuse my nose, bit hay fever. Yeah, we've got to sort it out one way or the other. Can't fathom out what's causing the problem, but let's get into it. Let's try. Let's do a bit of research, see what we can find out. Let's do it. Okay, so the video where this car was supposed to have been finished went live today, and I asked you on that video if any of you knew what might be causing this ABS light problem. I've had some answers back. I mean, the video's been live for about 3 hours. I've had a few answers back, and I've had checked the sensors on the back because the mechanic's done the brakes. I've had check the sensor as it goes, not that sensor, I think the pad wear sensor as it goes in. It might have nipped a wire or something like that. And I had someone said about the earth strap, or a couple of people said about the earth strap, which was in my head, that, you know, earth strap, but I would have expected steering problems, potentially starting problems. I've got none of that, and I would have expected that. And the fact it came up when I was on that corner, that's the thing. It doesn't just sort of randomly come up for no apparent reason. It's come up when I've been working on that corner doing that DRL, and we had all those twisted wires and what have you. So I still think it's related to that. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned this on the other video, but I sent a message to my mobile guy, the one who did the back brakes, explained to him what had happened. I said, "You didn't touch those, did you?" And he said, "No, I always make a point of keeping well away from those." He said, "But there is a fuse." And I said to him, "Well, I've already got, and I've downloaded again, the diagram, which shows the fuse box, both fuse boxes, and it's got the key to what each one is, and there's no mention of it on that." And he said, "Give us your reg." I can't remember which car it was, and I look on my system. Did that. He came back. He said, strangely enough, he said, "Mine shows no fuse either." He said, "But I know it's wrong. I know there is one." And he sent me a diagram, and I said to him that I'd looked up on YouTube and I'd Googled it, and the US cars are coming up saying that there is a fuse, but the UK cars are saying there's not. He sent me a diagram which showed a fuse, and on the key it said ABS pump or ABS sensor, whichever one it is. That fuse, it described as being a 40 amp orange fuse. In that position where he pointed me to is a 40 amp orange fuse, which, as you can see there, is a good one. Now this, the beige car that's over at my sister-in-law's, I went over this morning and took this out, which is a good fuse. It's not blown. It's not a relay, it's a fuse. It's just a bit of chunky one, 40 amp. And I took it out, put the battery back on, got in the car, turned the ignition on, didn't start the engine, but turned the ignition on, ABS light came up. So I haven't tried it yet on this car. I'm going to try it now, and I'm hoping and praying that it's going to work. I'm hoping and praying I take that orange fuse out in this car and it's going to be blown. I put this one in and it's just going to work. Please let this work. So I am doing a separate video, because if other people have had this problem, I know Alex at Car 101 Salvage is having exactly the same problem as me. He's got EBD coming up as well, and I've messaged him yesterday and said, "It might be a fuse, I'll let you know tomorrow." So I'm hoping that for his sake as well as mine, that it's going to be this little thing here. Let's try it. Let's pop the bonnet. I'll set you up on tripod. We'll get that fuse out. I'll show you where it is, and we'll try it, see if it works. Fingers crossed. I'm absolutely scared to try it because I just want it to work so much. So let's just do it. Let's get out. Let's do it. Okay, right. Here's the fuse box. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I don't know why I'm bothering doing this, but I'm going to take the battery cable off, battery earth cable. So we'll open the fuse box. It's this fuse here. So this one here, 40 amp, and it is it's 04, F04. Let's take it out and have a look. Can't actually get it out. There we go. Right, it's not blown. it isn't blown. Certainly not visibly blown anyway. But we'll put the other fuse in and try it. The fact that it's not blown is not good, but it could be blown out of sight. Let me just put it in sight so you can see it. So you can see there it doesn't visibly look blown. So let's put this one in. Reconnect. And we're going to try it on the car. No, it's come back. So it's not that. Damn. No, it didn't work. So I've just taken all of those relays out, put them all back. That's bizarre though, isn't it? Considering that's the original one that was in it, so I've left the other one in there, but it's not making any difference at all. Now I'm going to take the car for a spin because there is always a chance that's all it needs. But it's really bizarre that I took that out of the other car and it came up. Unless there is a relay as well, because on the US version it does mention a relay as well. I might have to look further into that. Don't know why it would have a relay as such, but I'm going to take it for a spin, I'll let you know, but don't know, back to square one. So I've logged into the ABS ECU, and what I realised was that light that is on the red one above the ABS light, that's actually the handbrake. When I take the handbrake off, that stays on. So I'm thinking it is something that has happened when the mechanic has done the brakes. For whatever reason, it's only just come to light. I think it possibly is a massive coincidence. Now, I've checked all these things. I've just had my wife in the car with the laptop on her lap, and we've just driven slowly up the road. Now, we've got where's it gone? Which one was it? Bear with me a second. I think it's further up. Hang on, stand by. Yeah, front left wheel speed, front right wheel speed, rear left wheel speed, rear right wheel speed. Now the right hand rear, as much as it caught up, but it seemed to be behind. When I just reversed up the drive, I'll do it in a second with the camera on it, but we drove up the road and sometimes it was higher than the others, sometimes it was lower than the others. Eventually it would catch up. So I'm wondering if it's something to do with that, and or something to do, whatever reason, the handbrake, the light is not going out. So I'm thinking that maybe something has been disturbed at the back there, and it's nothing to, and it is just a massive coincidence. So let me just put it into gear and reverse up the drive a little bit, and I'll point the camera, if I can, at the screen. Now watch the voltage and make sure I'm in a straight line. Watch the voltage as we go backwards. Let me make sure you can see it. All right. If you can see it, hopefully you can. I can't see it myself because the sun's on it. So front left wheel speed actually on there is a lot higher than the others. It takes a while, when you stop, it takes a while for them to come back. So if we just roll forward. It takes ages for it to return back to zero. That makes me a little bit suspicious. I mean, I don't know what it showed you there particularly, but when we were driving up the road, it definitely showed a difference in that rear right. So I think we need to have a look at that. So I can't do it today because it's Sunday today, and you know, we've tried to fuse, it hasn't worked, but we're delving deeper into it. So I'm going to send a message to the mechanic and just give him an update and see what he says. But the fact that the handbrake, you know, the handbrake is off, but the light is on. So I pull the handbrake on, take the handbrake off, it's not going out. So there's something to do. Is it? I don't know. We'll come back and we'll try something else. Right, so obviously what I just showed you hasn't worked. But this is a couple of days later now, and I had a bit of not a revelation, but I re-downloaded another diagram of fuse boxes along with the key, Now I'm not sure whether it's a US version or not. It was a bit, you couldn't, it was difficult to tell from the files, the downloads and so on as to where it's come from. But I had a look, and I came outside. I didn't film this because I was in desperation stakes trying to sort this out, and I just came out one evening and thought, right, let's go for it, fuse by fuse by fuse. So I took the fuse box top off. As we know, that 40 amp fuse we've discovered is the pump, the ABS pump. Now you have an ABS pump and you have an ABS sensor, which are all part and parcel of the same thing. The sensor is like, you know, bolted to the top of the pump. And on the other car, as I explained to you, I took that out, started the engine, or turned the ignition on, and the ABS light came up, exactly as it does on this one. So I started going through them again, each one by one, looking at the key, looking down at these fuses as well, which I'd already checked all these fuses, and they're all okay. I got down, so when you've got gaps like that, if you can see, you got the odd gap. Now, it might not be that one, it might be one further down, but that one there, there's no fuse in there because on the key it says that that's for heated seats. This car's not got heated seats, so there's no fuse there, so you've got an empty bank. As we came down, we got to this one here, and there was no fuse there. That's I think, I can't see from here, I think it's a 20 amp fuse, that one. And I believe from memory, I'll put the diagram up on the screen now, but I think from memory, I think that's F23, whereas that's F04, this is F23. And according to F23, that is the ABS sensor. And there was no fuse there. No fuse whatsoever. Nothing. How can that be? I have not taken any fuses out. I mean, I took them all out, put them all back after checking that they were okay, but I've not taken any fuses out. How is there no fuse in there? Is it possible that the problem I had with the DRL, which is now fixed, caused a short which made a fuse pop? Is that possible? I just don't understand. It came up at exactly the same time. You know, I haven't gone over a big bump and the fuse was loose and it's popped out and it's then just fallen and gone. I'm at a loss. So on there, I think, I can't see in this light, yes, it's 20 amp. So that's a 20 amp fuse. So I've got fuses, so I stuck a 20 amp fuse in. I came round to the car, to the seat, driver's seat. As I'm doing now. Just need to wiggle the wheel. I'm trying to get the wrong key in. Got the key for the other car. Bear with. Okay, turn the ignition on. ABS light is on, handbrake light is on. ABS light goes out. Take the handbrake off. Handbrake light goes out. It's fixed. That's what it was. It was the damn fuse. Now, I don't get it. I really don't get it. So how can that be? How can that be? It makes absolutely no sense. Fuse was completely missing. I mean, it's nowhere to be seen in there. Could that possibly have happened? Could it have just boing, popped out, hit the top of the case, fallen down? And that is a massive coincidence that happened at that exact same time that those wires were wrapped around each other on that DRL. And it blew the bulb on the back as well. It will be forever a mystery, I think. I'm just pleased that it's done. So, funnily enough, an hour later, I got a message from the girl who's buying the car saying, did you manage to sort out the problem? And luckily I was able to say I'd actually sorted it out an hour ago. She's picking it up at 11 o'clock this morning. And I remembered last night, I want to give it a quick clean, but I remembered last night, of course, that I hadn't put the bumper back on properly, so I've got to do that as well. Put some mats in here, wipe it over inside, give it a quick clean on the outside, nothing dramatic. Black the tyres up, that sort of thing. So it's just that final little prep to get it ready for her to pick up. But solved. So yeah, we'll come back come back shortly for you. Once we've got it all ready, we'll do that final walk around as I promised you before, and then we can say goodbye to this one. If you've got any ideas how that could possibly have happened, please let me know, because it's doing my Swede in. I just can't fathom out how that could possibly have happened. See you shortly. Right, there it is, all done. At last, it's done. All that grief, and it's finally finished. So it's cleaned inside and out. I've cleared the codes, I've reset the service coupon. I've put the old Easy Coat stuff over it once I've cleaned it, which makes it look like it's just been polished. Amazing stuff. Yeah, it's all finished. And they're coming in about an hour or so to collect it. Job done, at last. So that was some stressful times towards the end of doing this, but we got there in the end. And funnily enough, I put the bumper back on, and the bumper actually fits better than it did the first time, because there was quite an uneven gap there, and now it's even. Might be slightly too big, but it's even, that's the main thing. So it looks good. Looks really, really nice. So that's it. So that is the end of Project Millie. It's been an emotional one towards the end of the car for obvious reasons. So if you have an ABS problem, check those fuses. You never know, it might just be one or both of those fuses. Nightmare that was. But it's all done, all nice and clean now, ready to go, and as I say, should be picking it up in about an hour. So that's it. Only a short video, but I just wanted to update you. Thank you to everybody that sent me ideas of what it might be. Didn't turn out to be one of those, but there you go. By the way, a few people mentioned the earth strap. That was virtually the first thing I did on this car, because it had no front on it, so I put a new earth strap on, so that had already been done. But I'd forgotten about that. But yeah, so that's it. As always, if you're not a subscriber, click on the button, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up. Until the next one, thanks for watching, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.